Hello, I'm Keith Kimmins, Senior Safety, Health and Environment Superintendent for Explosives Group. Over the years, this group has seen many improvements that have reduced the manual handling burden on our operators. To give you a few examples, we no longer handle 50-kilogram bags. 25-kilogram bags are the standard. We use 1-ton bulker bags and forklifts. And we use bulk systems such as MMUs. In the quarry services business, 1-metre bore track rods are being phased in. However, whilst the improvements have been extensive, there are still many activities that require manual handling. This video is designed to give you the tools to perform those activities as safely as possible.
Hello, my name's Peter Watson. I'm a physiotherapist, and like most physios, I spend a fair bit of time helping people with low back pain. Now, a lot of low back pain can be avoided altogether by just observing a few basic principles and putting them into practice in daily life. In this video, I'll be talking about a few things that you can do to help prevent back pain. Observe firstly in the diagram here of the human spine that a lot of injuries tend to occur in two main areas. This area down here in the lower back and this area here of the lower neck. Now, some people refer to these areas as stress zones, and the reason why they are stress zones is because stress and strain tends to build up in these two regions here and here from just doing various day-to-day activities. You can help reduce the amount of stress through these areas by doing some light exercises and also using some to help shunt the forces and the strains. Now, observe in this illustration of the skeleton, the function of the upper and the lower body, this region, a greatly support in that region, provides muscles to stabilise this area, protects the area from stress. The build of stress in this area can cause wearing out and lead to injury. The two main muscle groups that I'm referring to help reduce the amount of stress in the spine are the lower torso muscles here. These muscles act as stabilisers to help improve the protection of the spine here, and the other main muscle group is the lower limb muscles. Now, when you look at this diagram, you'll notice that these muscles are the largest in the human body, and these provide the platform of force that we need to do most activities of daily living. By using these muscles rather than the smaller muscle of the back, you can generate more force and use your body more efficiently, and this will also lead to less injury. Another thing I'd like to point out is on the side view of the lumbar spine, the lower back, there's an inward curve. You can see that the spine isn't straight up and down. There's a curve in this way, that way, that way. Now this curve here is very important because it helps protect your back from injury. This curve here helps shunt the stressful forces away from the sensitive structures of the back. So if you can keep this curve present during various activities, you'll protect your back a lot better. Now, just to recap the important points we've talked about, firstly, when you're lifting a heavy load, learn to brace these muscles because these stabilise the spine. Use the prime movers of the lower limbs to do the lifting, and keep the inward curve present throughout the actual pulling, pushing or lifting. Just to show you what I mean, I'll lift this weight here. So firstly, wide base of support, back nice and straight, tense the tummy, make it nice and firm, get down low, lift up the weight close to your body and lift. Now just keep that curve present throughout the lift. Now there's more to safe lifting than just bending at the knees and bending up and down. It's very important to use these principles we're talking about for pushing and pulling, because a lot of activities that we do, we require to push and pull in this direction. Just to show you what I mean, we'll try pushing this load here. Now there's three things: tense the tummy, back straight, and use the large prime movers of the legs. So that means transferring your weight from one leg to the other. Likewise, if you're pulling something, you pull back, transferring the load this way to that way, tight in the middle and straight in the back. So get down low, put your legs wide apart, tense in the middle, back straight, push. Now for the pulling, back down low, tense, straight, and forward.
So, it's back straight, stomach tense, legs apart, and use the leg muscles.
Sitting can be a problem with low back pain because when you sit down you have a lot of stress which tends to accumulate here. To stop the stress from building up, try and keep this inward curve present while you're sitting. It sometimes helps, for example, if you're driving a truck or a car, to roll up a small towel and place it about the level of your belt and sit well back into the back rest of the car. By doing this and keeping that inward curve present,
watch and observe the following good lifting practices.
here's Simon moving a Weldon pump from a shelf. Firstly, he's clearing the path, he's thinking about the lift, planning how to do it safely, making sure that there's an unobstructed path. Having a wide base of support, bending the knees, keeping the back straight, shifting all the obstacles out the way with the straight back. Now he tests the load, slides the load forward close to him, gets down low and lifts the load and turns at the feet. Okay, tests the load, gets close to the load, slides it forward, lifts and turns at the legs. Okay, clear the way, test the load, slide it close to the body and carry it off in a clear path. A wide base of support, straight back, tense the tummy and push through the legs. Test the load, ascertain the team lift is required. Communicate with the co-worker, coordinate the lift, and put it down slowly.
The key points to good lifting practices: bend at the knees, tense the stomach, back straight, load close to the hips, and raise the load with the legs. Getting in and out of an MMU cabin can be hazardous. Watch as Plant Supervisor Les Pilkington exits the MMU cabin. Pay close attention as Les checks the ground condition, maintains 3-limb contact, checks his footing, and does a couple of stretches. Now watch as Les maintains 3-limb contact as he enters the cabin. So, the key points for entering and exiting the MMU cabin are: check the ground condition, maintain 3-limb contact, stabilise your footing and exit slowly. Hose pulling. Watch as Les pulls a 1-inch hose across the bench, keeping the hose close to his hips and using his legs to drag the hose forward.
Now there's more to safe lifting than just keeping the back straight and going up and down like this. A lot of activities that we're required to do require pushing and pulling action, such as hose pulling, which requires a lot of transference of body weight. So in order to do these things safely, the best thing for you to do is learn how to use what's called the lunge position. Now the lunge position is very straightforward. You take a large step forward, have the legs well apart, keep the back straight, tense in the middle, then transfer the weight forward to push, and transfer the weight backwards to pull. By doing this action, lunging forward and back, transferring the weight from one leg to the other, what you're doing is using the strong, large muscles of the leg to do the heavy work. Not only is this a more safe way to work, but it's much more efficient use of your muscles, which means that you'll get less tired when you're doing the work.
The lunge position is a very efficient position for loading of medium-sized holes. The squat position is useful for loading of deeper holes. And the hand-over-hand method is useful for shorter blast holes. The key points for hole loading are the squat method for deep holes, the lunge method for medium depth holes, the hand-over-hand method for small holes, and change methods and jobs regularly. When flipping a hose, it's safest to use the lunge position. Firmly grip the hose with both hands and flip the hose just enough to free it. Stop the video now and complete Module 3. A good method for shoveling stemming is the lunge method demonstrated here. The first 2 loads are quite small. This allows your muscles to adjust to the workload. A good posture will also reduce muscle fatigue. When handling a wheelbarrow, use the squat position to raise the load and the lunge position to push the load. Avoid steep, uneven or soggy sections of ground that may cause you to overbalance. To tip a load, use the squat position to raise the load and then shake from side to side. The key points in handling stemming are to use a front-end loader to distribute stemming, use the lunge position for shoveling and pushing wheelbarrows. The first few loads should be 50% of the normal load and buckets kept to 15 kilograms maximum. Bore track rod should be lifted using the squat position, with the load held close to the hips while carrying. When handling the rods, keep your hands clear of the pinch points. If a rod becomes stuck, it should be freed gently using the leg muscles. The key points to handling bore track rods are: avoid pinch points and free jammed rods gently. The following stretching warm-up exercises will help prevent minor sprains and strains when manual handling. Here, Peter Watson shows ICI Supervisor Les Pilkington some of the exercises. Ankle rotation, knee bends, hamstring stretch, lower back warm-up, lower back stretch, side stretch, shoulder rotation, shoulder stretch 1, shoulder stretch 2, muscle warm-up, and job warm-up. If you sustain a minor sprain or strain, you must report the injury immediately to your manager. Rest, then ice the injury to reduce swelling. A compression bandage should then be applied and the affected area elevated. Your manager will organise alternative duties for you, even if the injury occurred at home. By using the skills demonstrated in this video and working together in teams, we can work towards realising our safety vision of no injuries to anyone ever.